In this week's Talking About Orcs, we're going over the new Frontline Gaming ITC Championship missions for 2020. Now, obviously, if you don't play the ITC missions, then there's no reason in listening to this video. But if you do play ITC, any sort of competitive level, then you might want to stick around and hear just some thoughts I had about the changes made. So, one of the biggest changes, of course, is there is no seize the initiative roll at all. So there's one roll off, and the person that loses it rolls for the deployment zone, picks the deployment zone, and then will go second. The person that wins the roll will go first and deploys their army first. So it allows you to defensively adjust the position of your army against what they are doing. So what this brings up is probably one of the least used or very rarely used warlord traits, which is cunning but brutal, where you can redeploy the warlord and D3 up to D3 units in your army. This is especially good if you're playing the attacker, where you get to go first and you get to redeploy to try and bring your firepower to bear easier. Or if you're playing the defender, this would be a good chance to kind of like do a fake deployment where you kind of you put some things out front or in a certain area and hope to bait your opponent into pushing that, and then move everything away at the start of their first turn. So it's just something to think about. I mean, especially if your warlord is the souped up Shaka, being able to reposition that against something that they have defensively deployed for or hidden from you, deploy it on the other side of your deployment zone, and suddenly you can shoot something where you weren't able to shoot before. So yeah, cunning but brutal could be a very important warlord trait going forward in the uh, championship missions, and it's definitely something to think about. So just some ideas, just some things to note about the secondaries. Then we'll talk about first and foremost is going to be Big Game Hunter, whereas before it would be destroying a vehicle or monster or something like that. But now Big Game Hunter is 1 point for every 10 cumulative wounds dealt to enemy units containing the monster, Titanic, or vehicle wound, or vehicle keyword. So what this means is that your mech guns are going to be very easily giving up Big Game Hunter, because at 6 wounds each, only you have to destroy 2 of them to get 1 point. And since they are vehicles, they do count for this. So if you have a lot of mech guns, shooting them might not be a bad idea for your opponent selecting Big Game Hunter, even if you have no other vehicles. Just something to think about when you're taking your mech guns and deploying them and stuff like that, is that they can probably easily give up some Big Game Hunter points. The Reaper is now 20 wounds of infantry or drone models destroyed, earn 1 point. So in infantry heavy units, just something about your opponent's probably going to take the Reaper if you're playing infantry heavy. And there's really not much you can do about it. It's just kind of some of these secondaries here are just going to be like auto give ups for your Orc army, and the Reaper is probably one of them. I personally don't play a lot of infantry units in my army, but something to think about. Marked for death is only units of 100 points or more, which means some very important units are going to be out of mark for death, specifically Grots and, of course, the souped up Shaka itself, which is only 84 points with its Grot Oiler. So the mark for death may not be great great to be used against you, but you can definitely use it. It's just something to think about when you're deploying. Again, these are all things to think about when you're deploying what your opponent's going to take and how you're going to deploy your army. And if they take mark for death, they can only take certain units. They can't take any of your, I think, would be more important units. Only your tougher ones. So not being able to mark for death your Grots is actually pretty important as far as I'm concerned. And just some fun things here to think about, and that's the new Born for Greatness one, where pick one of your single model character units. This unit gains 1 point for accomplishing each of the following up to a total of 40. Destroy an enemy unit that does not have character, destroy an enemy unit that does have character, deny a psychic power, hold an objective outside your deployment zone, heroically intervene, or begin a battle round wholly within your opponent's deployment zone. So this is obviously a good thing to use for the jump and like say a mech. You can throw a mech into your opponent's deployment zone near an objective, hidden somewhere, and you just kind of sit there, maybe gain a point or two. It's not a bad idea. Or if you really want to have some fun, jump Makari. If he's a single model unit, if he's not, if he's a separate data sheet and not with Gazzy, we don't know yet, of course. But jump Makari into your opponent's deployment zone and just have him start gaining points. just something for fun. Because Born for Greatness is literally the best thing you can do with Makari. Aptly named. So yeah, there's not much else to say. There's a real quick video this week. So the new missions I think are really good, and getting rid of that seize the initiative role is actually very interesting because we've been playing with seize the role literally for years. I think I don't even remember what edition it came out. It came out, and was it fifth or sixth? So it's been a very, very long time we've been playing with seize the initiative, and not having it is very, very different. So let me know what your thoughts are on the new uh, ITC missions, and I'm liking them so far. I've only played one game with them, but I do like the new options. I do like the lack of seize the initiative, and I do like having the ability to defensively deploy if you're not going first, which is now guaranteed if you lose that initial roll. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thank you for watching this episode of Talking About Orcs. Please subscribe and hit the bell button for notifications for new Talking About Orcs videos every Wednesday, new battle reports every Friday, and hobby videos whenever I can. Thanks for watching.